So hello if you are there, and if you're on Twitch, obviously hello as well. I'll put that there, and I'll get ready for the bloody race. I'll get ready for race. I'm not even on the right channel. What a shambles. What a shambles. Absolute shambles. There we go. I couldn't even find it. I say that, but it hasn't actually changed the channel for me. Okay, there we go. Now we're good. I'm going to need my headset. Eddie, how you doing? 64 months. Thank you, Eddie, so much. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Bloody Jack doing? I'm not sure about K-Mag, but I do know that Hulkenberg got demoted. Oh, thank you, Joe. He got demoted 3 places because he overtook in the pit lane exit under the tunnel. So he's moved from 4th to 7th, sadly, Hulkenberg, which is frustrating for him. But I imagine the Haas team would have expected him to have fallen back during the race anyway, so I suppose it's not that bad. Current, how you doing? Oh, I didn't see that, Tom. I didn't see it. I've only just turned it on, to be honest with you. So I don't know. We don't know. Afternoon shock. No, the constructors is definitely McLaren's to lose. 100%. They can afford, because there's only Sainz up there behind them, they can afford to essentially have one driver not even do well and still win. And they're in 1-2, so I mean, it's definitely theirs to lose. So. Everyone's on medium. Apart from Lewis Hamilton. Okay. I mean, everyone has started on mediums, including people behind Lewis. He is the only car on the grid to start on hards. That already feels like a mistake. That already feels like a mistake to me. We'll see. If it was a viable strategy, I feel like at least one of the car at the back would have done it. You know? He is literally the only car. That means even Charles Leclerc, all the others behind, think the medium is the right tyre to start on. So the fact that he's the only car on hards suggests to me that that is not the right decision. And he might very well, you know, he might very well struggle at the start and be overtaken, which is not what you want when you're trying to make your positions up from 16th. So, yeah, that seems like not an odd decision, but a risk, let's say. Jack Doohan's fucking gunning it. Jesus. Absolutely gunning it. He had a huge gap. Colapinto hasn't even got off the line yet. And Norris is already heading down into turn 6. Yeah, you got so many drivers leaving. Obviously, Colapinto won't be around next year. Joe Guan Yu, Valtteri Bottas. You've got Lewis Hamilton going to Ferrari, Carlos Sainz going to Williams. So you've got multiple drivers changing. You've got Esteban Ocon, who isn't even in this race. He's going to Haas. Nico Hülkenberg is moving to Sauber from Haas. Kevin Magnussen leaving. I'm trying to think of Perez probably going. Perez likely leaving. So, you know, quite a significant difference. Oscar Piastri is going to fucking send it on Lando into turn 1. I can feel it. Right, as always, guys, I will tell you when the lights are going on so you can prepare, pause, do whatever you want. Do a jig. Make a little love. No, not that one. God, Lando and Piastri weren't born the last time McLaren were constructors champions. Oof. Right. They're lining up on the grid. Green flag's about to be waved. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go. Lance Stroll had a blinder. Oh, Verstappen! Verstappen took out Piastri. George Russell, I think, is up into 4th. Oh, that's huge, potentially, for the constructors. Charles Leclerc's already passed Lewis Hamilton, by the way. Lewis did not have a good start. Charles Leclerc had a blinder. He's up to 11th, Charles Leclerc. Oh! Sergio Perez is around! What's going on? Oh, Christ. I'm not sure which Sauber that was. Charles Leclerc's up to 8th. Charles Leclerc's up to 8th position. I tell you what, all of a sudden the constructors has just flipped on its head. All of a sudden the constructors has just flipped on its head. If Charles Leclerc can get up now towards the front, things do start to change a little bit. Oh, my Lord. Let's have a look at this restart here. Max had a great start. I need to see it from another perspective. I'm not sure that's entirely on Max. There was a gap. Yellow flag in sector 3. That might be for debris. No, that's Perez. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Virtual safety car. I hope that virtual safety car didn't come out when Max was going past Liam Lawson there. Oh, wow. I mean, listen, a terrible start for Red Bull. Not that it really matters, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things, but they'll still... Oh, Valtteri Bottas down in 13th. I wanted Bottas to score points. Oh. So, Lewis Hamilton got up to 12th in all of that commotion. Charles Leclerc, as I said, got up to 8th from 19th. He had a cracking start, and then all of those cars fucking up, he got ahead. Brilliant. What a lap. Now, is there any damage to Piastri's car? There might be some ruination for his tyres, I'll tell you that. So if McLaren win, that guarantees them the constructors, regardless of what Ferrari do. But if one of those Ferraris can win, then all of a sudden things change. It's not over. It's not over. Virtual safety car's ending now. And DRS enabled. Oh, DRS might have been enabled at the perfect time for George Russell. That's so lucky. Also, yeah, there's a huge gap there all of a sudden. Norris is like 3 seconds ahead of Sainz. What the hell? Verstappen got past Lawson on that restart as well. Oh, Piastri hits the Williams with Colapinto and locks his brakes. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, he's given Colapinto a puncture. Oh, Piastri's having a nightmare. Ay, ay, ay. I'm actually not sure, Current. If it is, it'll be small things, probably trying to get a handle on next year, I would have thought. No one's really bringing upgrades to the final race other than sort of experimental ones. Not usually. So they're investigating the Verstappen turn 1 incident. I think he'll get away with it, honestly. Just based on the quick replay that I've seen, I think he'll get away with it. They're boxing Piastri, probably because of his lockup. Obviously, he had a spin on turn 1, which would have ruined his tyres, and then he had another lockup. Oh, it's a slow stop for Piastri as well. Yeah. Calf, thank you for the 54 months. George Russell currently struggling to get past Gasly. He looks a bit quicker. I think Hamilton's having a similar problem with Lawson on those hard tyres. 10-second penalty for Verstappen. Oh. I think that's harsh. I think that's harsh. I mean, I'm watching these on board now from Max's perspective. Yeah, from his perspective, I think maybe it's fair, you know. I mean, he did mount that inside curb, and he looked a bit out of control from his perspective. I actually think from the outside perspective, it looks harsh because it's such a minor contact. But I think from the onboard of Verstappen, it looks more reasonable, I think. Oof, Piastri on the radio. Yeah, I agree. Once I've watched it from his perspective, I definitely think that it's a fair penalty. I was cracking from Charles Leclerc that first lap. That first lap was wild, man. It was wild. Oh, that's such a harsh penalty for Bottas. Like, what's he meant to do? What's he meant to do? You've got Perez in the middle there, right? You've got Charles. He can't just bring his car to a complete standstill. That's so unfair. I think that penalty for Bottas is so... 10 seconds! What? That's so unfair. Nah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with Bottas's penalty there. I think that's really unfair. Gasly doing really, really well to hold on to this third position at the minute. He's doing really well to hold on. Mercedes struggling to get past... The Mercedes with Russell struggling to get past Gasly, and the same with Hamilton struggling to get past Lawson. And Hamilton's going long. So... Hamilton's going long, so, you know... Oh dear. Oh dear. I don't know, man. I feel like the Bottas incident especially was harsh for 10 seconds. It's not that they're slower than an Alpine, Tilbo. It's just, it's actually now, since they changed the layout, it's a lot harder to overtake around here with DRS now. You've got to have really good traction out of that corner. I think George is having the same issue as Lewis. He doesn't have good enough traction out of turn 5. So he's not close enough out of turn 5 to make it down the chicane, I think. Do you think the 10-second penalty is fair? Or should it have been 5 seconds? What do you think? What do you think 10 seconds is fair for both of those incidents? I don't think the Bottas one's fair. Based on where he was on the track, he's not tried to send it on Perez. He's tried to just keep to the inside. And Perez has been, you know, pinched on the inside. I just don't think that's fair. But I mean, you're probably, based on what's happened, Piastri's probably going to get a 10-second because while... Yeah, 10-second penalty for Piastri. These penalties are extreme because the Piastri one wasn't an intentional dive. It was just a misjudgment. But, oh, bloody hell. That's harsh, isn't it? So, Hülkenberg's back up to 5th, so his penalty wasn't as bad. So, the only way now McLaren can fuck this is if one of the Ferraris gets ahead of Norris and the other one ends up on the podium. So, Fernando Alonso there getting a bit wild. Charles Leclerc right on his gearbox. Okay, Charles Leclerc I think is going to get past Fernando Alonso here. I honestly think if they would have started Lewis on the medium, he would have been in the top 10 by now. I think. I think it was a mistake to start him on the hard tyres. Yeah, Hulk's doing well in 5th. Yeah, any issue for Norris and the title's going to Ferrari. So they better hope that Norris doesn't have any incident. I mean, as we know, safety cars can happen at Abu Dhabi. You remember? What's the difference? Hold on. So... I mean, yeah, you're probably right. 25 for a win. So it's what? It's 18 and 15, isn't it? 18 plus 15 is 33 points. And they're 21 points behind, but Norris would be getting 25. Yeah, I think you're right. So 25 plus 18 would be 43. No, I don't think that would be enough, Tom. If Ferrari finished 1-2. Third place would be 15. So plus 21. You'd have 43. Yeah. 43 minus 15 would be 28 points, and there's a 21-point difference. So Norris couldn't allow both Ferraris ahead of him. What a move from Charles Leclerc. Oh, I think Lewis has actually finally got past Liam Lawson. Norris is doing 21.9 out front. Sainz doing a 29.1. But Gasly's then doing a 30.1. So Gasly's at least a second slower. K-Mag has just done a pit stop and it's incredibly slow. Joe Guan Yu pits, Albon pits. All these medium runners are starting to pit now. Albon's been noticed for a false start as well. Jesus. Yeah, so Charles Leclerc has already had his third warning for track limits. And we're 13 laps into the race, so the chances of him now not getting a penalty for that are fairly slim, really, aren't they? I wonder what the problem with Sergio Perez was. I wonder what the actual issue with the car was for him to have to retire. Hulkenberg stopping. Lack of talent. Oh, that's harsh, really. That's harsh. I agree with you, though. I do agree with you. Alonso pitting as well. Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Ellie. I think sometimes when I've been making a couple of these videos, people have said that, you know, the hate on Perez is unnecessary. And it's not meant to be hate. I'm just talking about it factually. Like, he's not been good enough, has he? I mean, I don't understand how that can be an argument that we're even debating. He hasn't been good enough. And the fact that he's coming out and saying Red Bull needed to fight harder for the constructors, when I don't mean this to be too dramatic, but he is solely responsible for why they didn't win it. And I'm not even saying he had to be finishing first, second all the time. He was going out in qualifying in Q1 all the time, barely getting back into the points. And because of that, they're massively behind. They had one guy getting all the points. And I don't... This isn't like hating on Perez. That's just facts. You know, the data backs that up. I don't understand why it's even an argument, you know. And there might be reasons why he's not doing well. There might be reasons in terms of the car not suiting him, etc., etc., etc. But you can't deny that the facts are he's been underperforming. So basically, Charles Leclerc, if Charles Leclerc can keep moving up here, ultimately Norris needs to win the race. Piastri hasn't stopped yet, has he? Well, no, he has, but has he done his 10-second penalty? Yeah, he stopped before the penalty was announced, didn't he? Yeah, Charles Leclerc is looking quick. Last time across the line, he did a 29.6. Russell did a 30 flat. So false start for Zhou Guanyu. 5-second penalty. Oh my God, the stewards are having an absolute penalty fest. Oof. Do you know what, Manex? I actually genuinely don't know what the scenario would be in the constructors with a draw. In the drivers, if it's a draw, it goes back to like wins, then podiums, etc., etc. So I imagine it would be the same with the constructors. If it was tied, I think it would go back to the amount of wins the constructor had had over the season. And then if wins were tied, it would go back to like podiums and something like that. So it would be something like that. Norris has got the pace, though, currently. He was, 3/10 quicker than Sainz last lap. And even if Charles Leclerc gets past Russell, Charles Leclerc is 15 seconds off the lead. So yeah. We'll see. Norris is the only one in the 128 at the minute. So Lance Stroll, black and white flag. Skill issue. I tell you what, Gasly's been driving really well in these last few races, hasn't he? Oh, Gasly's just been done back by Tsunoda. Oh, yes, Gasly. What a move. No, Michael, no. So Charles Leclerc, I think, is now in DRS. No, he's back out of it, actually, on Russell. Yeah, you're right, actually. It is very... That RB is very quick on the straights. Yeah, so far, it's been an interesting race. Lots of interesting battles going on. We've got Gasly potentially fighting for a podium here. We've got Leclerc trying to get back into those podium positions as well. So, a couple of interesting fights going on here. Yeah, I mean, that's wild, isn't it? This is why sometimes, and we experience this in the Formula One game, by the way, and I know it's different, but the principle stands. If the virtual safety car ends when you're exiting a corner onto a straight, perfect. If the virtual safety car ends when you're going around a slow corner, then you'll lose out. Because you can't put your foot down, whereas a car on a straight can, and they can gain on you. So, in that respect, the virtual safety car isn't actually that fair. But, you know, there you go. It is what it is. Hulkenberg driving well also. Ferrari out in the pit box. Is this going to be Sainz or is it going to be Leclerc to jump Russell? It's going to be Sainz. Oh, neither. They've both gone through. Leclerc got right up behind Russell, but now he's struggling since he got there. Oh, God. And he's dropped back a little bit now. He's now 1.3. I think once he got behind Russell, he struggled to really go anywhere. No, it's not running well. Oh, you're right. Because in clean air, he was really, really quick. But as soon as he got up behind George, he slowed. Oh, Sonoda had such a bad start. Oh, God. That's a scary sight from that camera, isn't it? Seeing how fast all those cars are going past you. Bloody hell. Right. Charles Leclerc pitting. He's going to box for hard tyres. It was an okay stop. 2.7. Not the quickest, but... Will he get out? He'll be behind Gasly, though, no? Yeah, he'll definitely be behind Gasly. Martin Brundle confusing the service road. That's not a bad place for Charles Leclerc to be, although Pierre Gasly is ahead of him, and Gasly's been quick, and Gasly stopped, so he's not going to be easy to pass. So, Norris and Sainz are just doing different pace to other people. Norris did 29.1, Sainz 29.1, Russell at 30.3, Verstappen at 29.6, Hamilton at 29.7. So Verstappen, Hamilton, and Russell are in the high 29. Well, Verstappen and Hamilton mid 29s. Russell's just over the 30s. But Sainz and Norris are in the low 29s. It's a huge difference. In fact, Hamilton's only about 11 seconds off George Russell at the minute. Oh, no, less than that. 9 point something. I would never, I'll be honest, considering how poor that Alpine was at the beginning of the season, I would have never said that they would have been fighting for a podium in the final race. That's madness, isn't it? Absolute madness. Oh, sidebar, guys, as well. Heard an almighty bang last night. The attic hatch, you can't see it from here, but the attic hatch has fallen off. So the fence has been smashed outside. God knows how much that'll cost to replace. The attic hatch fell off. And the reason the attic hatch, I believe, is broke is because when we came back off holiday and the attic was infested, it was fumigated, and he accidentally stood on the hatch. And at the time, it looked fine, but obviously the actual, because it's a plastic hatch, the point where it sort of hinges has snapped off and the lock snapped off, so that's got to be replaced. It's just, do you know what? Sometimes being an adult's hard. You know, life comes at you fast. Sonoda and Doohan. Gasly on Lawson. He needed that. I mean, currently Hamilton is lapping a couple of tenths quicker than George. Currently, but Hamilton still has the quick medium tires to go on. Hamilton will finish the race on the faster tire. Last time across the line, Russell did a 30.2. Sainz ahead did a 29.1, a second slower. But Verstappen did a 29.9, 3 tenths quicker. Hamilton did a 29.7, half a second quicker. So I don't think Russell's pace is good. Oh, okay. Lawson got going. Bit of an issue there. Oh, Charles Leclerc on Gasly. That's really, really important. Because Charles Leclerc is currently running for a net podium when all the stops shake out. Now, that's really important because if there's any safety car, oh, Lawson doesn't have the wheels on. Oh, no. So if there's any sort of safety car at the end, Norris will be under real pressure. Well, yeah, Piastri's in the points, but he's going to lose 10 seconds, isn't he, as soon as he stops? So. Russell just did a 29. Oh, no, I thought he did a 29.2. He didn't. He did a 29.9. So, yeah, Piastri hasn't... Lawson's having to pit again. So, Piastri hasn't done his stop yet. Hasn't done his 10-second penalty, I should say. Sainz is going to pit. He won't be able to undercut him. Good stop from Ferrari, though. 2.2 seconds. That's a banger. They're going to box Norris, which makes sense. Norris has got plenty of time in hand. Did he not tighten the front left? No, the car started to go. What? Yeah, that wheel definitely wasn't attached. Oh, yeah, the wheel's definitely not attached properly. How has that stayed on for an entire lap? Bloody hell. They're going to box George Russell. They're boxing Norris. Good stop from McLaren as well. That's probably a 2.2. Well, the timing hasn't come up, but it was quick. Too flat. Bloody hell. Pit stop for George Russell. Good stop for George. 2.4. So Norris is only ahead by 1.5 seconds. Gasly's come out ahead of Russell again. Now, George will have DRS, but Gasly will have, Gasly will have tyres up to temperature. Why has he not gone for it? He's going to hold it down the next straight, but oh, that's bold. But he tried to make a move into turn 6 so many times and it didn't work. Can he do it? Oh, Gasly left the door open. What are you doing, Pierre? Every time Pierre defended on the inside and forced George to go around the outside and he couldn't do it. Why did you leave the inside open? Colapinto's having to retire the car. No, I know Gasly had no DRS. Of course he didn't. But what I'm saying is, before the first round of pit stops, George tried to overtake Gasly there on that corner, turn 6, numerous times. Gasly held the inside line. George tried to go around the outside, and even with DRS, couldn't make it work. For some reason this time, Gasly chose to leave that inside line open. For whatever reason. Anyway. George was on fresh tyres, so there is that to consider. What were Gasly's tyres on? 13 laps, so... Hmm. Yeah, Max is really dragging it out. Um. Hmm. Yeah. Unsafe release for Liam Lawson. That's kind of unsurprising, isn't it? Oh Christ! I forgot about that. Verstappen's got a 10-second penalty still, hasn't he? I completely forgot about that. Max has to stay stationary for 10 seconds, doesn't he? And do you know what? He's been out. I've completely forgot about it. Oh, Liam Lawson, a 10-second stop and go as well for unsafe release. Verstappen pits. That seemed less than 10 seconds to me. I'm going back and timing that. That seemed like less than 10 seconds. I suppose the camera came to it. No. He's fine. I've approved it. Oof, Max is angry. Brundle there being actually quite... He's like, you can't say that. Just don't run into people and you won't get a penalty. I mean, it's true. Here's the thing, though, right? I can understand being frustrated about something, but have we got another spin? What's that yellow flag for? Sauber. Oh, he's got missing a front wing. Bottas. Is that a puncture? Or is he... It's either a puncture or he's made contact with the wall, Bottas. Max can't... When Max has actually smashed someone out of the race in the first corner, how can he be angry about it? I don't understand how he can even pretend. Oh, Bottas, no. Bottas just lock. Oh, it's so bad from Bottas. That's so bad. Oh, that's so annoying. What a nightmare race for Bottas. Do you think that'll be a safety car? I don't think they'll bring a safety car out, will they? Valtteri Bottas. He did go bowling again, didn't he? I mean, I don't think they'll bring a safety car out for that debris, based on what we saw at the last race. They'll just be like, nah, that's cool. Race on. Crack on. Yeah, Bottas can't serve that penalty now. It's his final race. So... I mean, I don't think there'll be a safety car. Hmm. What? Interesting. Interesting. I mean, if there was going to be a safety car, it would have happened by now. They're not going to bring one out now. So I don't think there's any point in hanging out for one. Yeah, it would have been cleaned up by now, or just wasn't deemed to be enough to bring out. I mean, thing is, Lewis is now lapping obviously slower than Leclerc and Russell, who are on fresh tires. So surely it's time to bring him in now and do 20 laps on those mediums, no? Nice first lap that from Charles Leclerc. He avoided all the trouble and just breezed past when everyone else was crumbling. So Charles Leclerc is in a net third because Lewis still needs to pit. Which would put Ferrari in second and third, but that won't be enough to win them the constructors, as Hamilton pits. Decent start for Mercedes. Hamilton really needs to come out ahead of Alonso here. Oh, he is out ahead of Alonso, but Alonso will have DRS, and we know what Alonso's like. Hamilton has also come out ahead of Max Verstappen. Oh, yeah. Hamilton had to defend from Alonso there. Yeah, Hamilton, Alonso, and Max Verstappen. Oof. Interesting. He's got a lot of time to make up, Hamilton, though. You know, he's 7.3 seconds behind Hülkenberg, who's then 1.7 behind Gasly, who's 9 seconds behind Russell. So, I mean... he'll certainly be quick because he'll be on mediums that should easily last for this 22 laps, and everyone else will be on hard tyres. You know, in theory, he should be quick. Verstappen here on Alonso. Yeah. Sainz doesn't have the pace to catch Norris. Sainz doesn't have the pace to catch Norris. What if Norris finished second and Ferrari first and third? We said that that would mean that Ferrari would... it would be 1 point difference, wouldn't it? Or something. Literally, Norris has to win. Norris has to win the race. If he wins, it's in their hands. And it doesn't matter what Ferrari do. But if he doesn't win, then they're in trouble. But based on what I've seen so far, Norris has had the pace all race on Sainz. I think this would have been a different story if Charles Leclerc didn't have his 10-second penalty and didn't have his issue in qualifying. I think if Charles Leclerc was up there, this would be a different ball game. Yeah, unless Norris obviously got a fastest lap as well. So last time across the line, Hamilton did a 27.8, which actually matched Lando Norris's time. The cars ahead, Hülkenberg, Gasly, were doing 29 threes and 29 fours. So that's 1.5 seconds quicker than those cars ahead, Gasly and Hülkenberg. It was only about 7 or 8 tenths quicker than his teammate George Russell, though. I don't think he can catch Charles Leclerc. I think a podium is beyond ambitious. Let's be honest, even if he caught George Russell's actually pretty good at defending. And Hamilton doesn't actually have a good track record of getting past Russell once he's caught him. Let's be honest. They've been pretty poor this season, haven't they? Aston Martin, flattered to deceive a little bit over the last couple of years. We thought they'd turned a corner and we were going to start being a competitive team, but they've been really poor this season. Obviously, they've demoted Dan Fallows and brought in Adrian Newey, which should, you think, improve their chances over the next couple of years, but yeah. What a nightmare race for Oscar Piastri. Absolute nightmare of a race for Piastri. I don't think Oscar expected to be fighting Lance Stroll for 14th place when this race started. I think he'll be bold for Piastri to get into the points, really. He's 1.2 to 3.5, 7, 8. He's like 13 seconds off 10th place. It's going to be a real hard ask for him, I think, to get into the points. It's not outside the realms of possibility, but I think it's unlikely. But like I say, Norris has got this covered. He's a couple of tenths faster than Carlos Sainz every lap, so I think he's got it covered, honestly. Yes, you got Albon Zoo. You've also got Hulkenberg that mentioned pitting again, didn't he? He suggested that they might have to pit again. There are cars that might want to do another stop. You've also got to consider the Piastri's tyres are 6 laps old. And notwithstanding Alonso, you've got Tsunoda 16 laps old, Zhou Guanyu 26, Albon 26. So these guys do have much, much older tyres. I think George Russell's just been given the hurry up because his pace has definitely got quicker. Yeah, Norris is increasing his lead to Sainz. Sainz doesn't have the answer. So... Where's Gasly currently? 5th. He's in 5th, isn't he? Yeah. So that's the next one for Lewis to catch. Albon's currently running in the points. Verstappen's down in 8th still. Doing in 14th, fighting with Lance Stroll. Oh, he bailed out of that. Don't blame him. Well, I mean, I don't know if Gasly will. Done 26 laps on the hard tyre. He was one of the earliest stoppers, wasn't he, on the hard tyre? It just depends. He might need to stop again. You might be right. I don't know if he will. Now, remember, George Russell got stuck behind Pierre Gasly for quite a while. That Alpine, despite being a boat, is actually pretty quick in a straight line. So Lewis has got to hope that he doesn't get stuck behind him for the same amount of time. I mean, you remember that Alpine in the beginning of the season? It was essentially a boat, wasn't it? It was so chunky and overweight. Like, And ironically, and this is very ironic, it did perform better in wet conditions. That's not even a joke. It did. So yeah. Right, Lewis is up to 5th. He's never getting 14.4 seconds on George Russell though in 15 laps. No chance. I don't think the delta for Lewis is enough. He's not getting 14 seconds on Russell in 15 laps. He'd have to be over a second quicker than George every lap. And then he'd have to get past him on those used tires. Never happening. It might be I love how Toto's coming on the radio going, "You can do that, Lewis." Yeah, but look, Toto, stay out of it. It's your own driver. He's catching. Like, what are you talking about? You can do it. It's your own bloody team. You can't be saying that. Lewis, you can do it. You can do it. Get him, Lewis. He's so fucking... Oh, it's George. Oh, my bad. You imagine now if Lando Norris had a DNF, like a engine fault or something. Imagine. Oh, God, well, imagine. George Russell's got a crash in him, hasn't he? Hmm. Yeah, I mean, you've got Charles Leclerc that managed to get up to 3rd, and he started behind Hamilton. So brilliant race from Charles Leclerc. I genuinely think that if Hamilton was on the medium tyres, based on what happened, they can't have known this, but based on what happened at the beginning part of the race with everyone tripping over each other, he would have been much further up, like similar to Charles Leclerc. As it turns out, being on the hard tyres and stuck behind Liam Lawson kind of ruined that first part of his race. But, yeah. So, George Russell, last time across the line, 28.3. Hamilton, 27.5. So, only 8 tenths. So, that's not enough. Verstappen hasn't really had the pace, has he? He's struggled a little bit, and obviously he's had a huge 10-second penalty, which hasn't helped his current position, of course. So Piastri's currently in 12th, by the way. He's half a second behind Alonso, who's half a second behind Tsunoda. So Piastri could get in the points. I said it wasn't possible earlier, or I didn't think it was possible. It is possible, though. Hmm. Yeah, Max gets past Gasly pretty easily there. Yeah, George, last time across the line, so look, George has just done a 28.7, but Leclerc did a 28.3. Hamilton did a 27.6. So 1.1 seconds Hamilton was quicker than George that last lap. So that last lap, Hamilton was over a second quicker than George. But remember, he has to catch him and overtake him. And oh! Oscar Piastri, Jesus, almost give me a heart attack. Bloody hell. Oof. Sorry, I saw that live as I was talking. It scared the shit out of me. Yeah, I thought it was Norris. I took a second just to look at it and work out what was going on. You know? Oh my God. That was almost a disaster. I mean, there's no. I know Brundle's talking about destabilizing McLaren and pitting one of the Ferraris, or it would have to be Sainz, but that wouldn't benefit them. There's like 9 laps left. I don't think, regardless of what tire they put on, I don't think it would be enough. They could put softs on and hope for the best, but. Well, yeah, that's also very important, because imagine if Piastri had crashed there and brought out a safety car, and that's what ruined Norris, and they ended up losing it. Like, imagine that. That would have been something. I mean, there's 10 laps left. I don't think you're catching 26 seconds. You're not catching a whole pit stop in 10 laps, surely. That's not enough time, even on soft tyres, I don't think. It's 12 penalty points for a ban. It's so quick in a straight line, isn't it? Like, how many times have we seen that RB of Sonoda re-overtake someone down that straight? It's just so quick. Oh, God, is that real? Oh, Norris is about to lap Piastri soon. Oh, God. Yeah, Norris is coming up behind Stroll and then Piastri. Well, they haven't. Have they announced he got penalty points for it, Tilbo? They don't usually do that until after the race, do they? Or have they already put the steward's ruling up with the penalty points? It's over a 12-month period as well, so you'd be absolutely fine. What? Oh my God, Oscar, you could have sent that. Oh, what a move, though. Beautiful. Beautiful from Oscar, that was. How many penalty points did they give him then, Tilbo? I haven't actually seen the ruling. Hmm. Ugh. 8 laps left. He's not getting onto the podium, Crofty. He's got 7 seconds to get Russell. And he's 6 seconds again off. He's not getting a podium. He might catch George, but he ain't getting Leclerc as well. I don't even know why they're talking about it like it's a possibility. It's just moronic. There's no possibility whatsoever that he could catch Charles Leclerc. It's not feasible at all. Like, they talk about things. Obviously, they're trying to build a narrative, and I get that. But you're building a narrative that isn't even possible. At least build something that's reasonable. See, the problem there, watching this replay with Zhou Guanyu, is he had an opportunity to overtake into turn 6, and he chose not to get it down the next straight, but then didn't get the overtake done down the next straight. So at that point, you know, not ideal, is it? They're going to pit a Ferrari, are they? No. It was a little bit too late to do that now. They needed to do that about 10 laps ago. I mean, that's pointless, isn't it? Lance Stroll, what a G. Yuki Tsunoda again. That's funny. I think Hamilton's run out of steam, guys. He's not really catching George as quickly now. Oh. Sainz worried that he had a puncture. Hmm. Hmm. There's not enough laps left, guys, I don't think, for him to catch him. .5 seconds with 5 laps left after this. Not enough. Honestly, based on everything that's happened for Piastri, it would be an actual achievement if he got into the points. I feel like it would be a pretty good achievement getting back into the points. Spinning around, going to the back of the grid, then having a 10-second penalty. Hmm. So Carlos thinks something's flown into his cockpit. Hmm. Last time across the line, Russell did a 28.6. Hamilton did a... Oh, they've just crossed the line again, haven't they? Russell did a 28.3. Hamilton did a 27.3. Lando's raced really well today, though. I know that that might not be the most exciting for what we wanted, but I mean, he's raced well. He's had control of the race from the beginning. His pace has been there. I think he's covered Sainz really, really well in overall pace. I don't think, you know, that was ever in doubt by some sort of freak occurrence or mechanical failure. I think he's had the race covered. But I also don't think that anyone would have grumbled, you know, if either car would have won the constructors. I think they've both had periods of driving really, really well, and the cars have been really good over the season. So we're on lap 56. Hamilton is under 2 seconds behind George, but let's be honest, He's never going to pass him, even if he gets in DRS. I don't think he's going to have enough time to get past. George is smart. To be fair, George is really smart in the way that he uses his battery to defend. And so I just don't think Hamilton... I don't think it would be possible. Yannick Sinner. I've honestly never heard of him. Apparently he's the #1 tennis player. Yeah, but sadly, Ferrari are only going to get P2 and P3, so Ferrari needed to win, yeah. Basically, if McLaren win the race, it's theirs, regardless of what Ferrari do. Ferrari needed to win, to stop it. So, and yes, Piastri has it now. And Piastri's in the points, which doesn't really massively change things because Norris is winning, so... Lewis is 1.2 behind George. He needs to get within DRS on this lap to have DRS for the final lap of the race. You'll have one shot at it. Yellow flag sector 2. Liam Lawson. He won't... If that yellow flag stays, Lewis won't be able to overtake. If that yellow flag stays, he won't be able to overtake. Oh, Lawson's moved. Lawson's moved. It's clear, it's clear. I mean, Lawson's car's fucking rolling. Is that fine? Oh, DRS is disabled! He's been fucked! Oh, go... Oh, I suppose we should go to Norris, shouldn't we? Norris wins! McLaren are constructors champions! Oh, Lewis has gone round the outside of George! He's mugged him on the last lap! From 16th! He's absolutely mugged him. 98 months, lol, man. Thank you so much. I mean, he missed out on the podium, but that's a really good drive from Lewis. From 16th on those hard tyres. And from Charles Leclerc as well. But McLaren are constructors champions. Oh, yeah, So that means that Lewis, over the course of his time with George, has scored more points than George, so George can't use that against him. But George has outscored him this year, though, and he's, you know, obviously smashed him in qualifying, hasn't he? Hey, that was a great race from Charles Leclerc, great race from Lewis Hamilton. You know, his teammate started, was George in 7th or 6th? So to start 16th and catch him by 14 seconds there at the end. To be fair, though, we talked about this earlier in the race. I don't think George's pace was particularly good. George was saying he could hold this pace, but his pace was really slow compared to the two cars in front, wasn't it? So... It was a good race from Lando. It was a good race. He had it covered. It's really nice to see McLaren winning the constructor. They didn't win the drivers, but, you know, that's really cool to see all the hard work at McLaren at least pay off for them. You know, so that's cool. Are they going to do donuts? Yeah, the the graphics were a little bit scuffed, weren't they? Someone's getting fired. Oh, there's a specific donut area. They're giving Lewis a donut area, even if he's outside of the top 3. I'm just looking. There's a specific FIA directive for Lewis to go and do donuts. Here he is doing his donuts. At least he's got fuel left. That's cool. Emotional. Emotional, innit? Right. That's going to be it from me. I'll watch a bit of the celebration, maybe, but that'll be it from me, Pig. I'll be back tomorrow. Probably playing a little bit of... we might play a little bit of... Indiana Jones. Thank you very much for joining me, folks. The final race of the season. Yeah. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate you. I love you. I will see you tomorrow on Twitch for more banter. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. I am off to cook a cottage pie. That's right. Cottage pie. Ooh, from scratch. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm going to have a lovely, relaxing Sunday, and I'll be back with you tomorrow. Love you all. Bye-bye.